welcome back to another Is It Keto Friendly? So today's product is going to be real food. I've got a T-bone steak and 4 whole eggs. So, the basis of this one is there's a lot of discussion around whether protein has an effect on ketosis or not. So this is a relatively high protein meal, a bit higher than I would normally have, so it'll be interesting to see what the effects are. So as per usual, the baseline for today's experiment. Now, this morning I've been fasting. I haven't had a gym workout, so it's 9:15, and it'll be interesting to see what my blood ketones and blood sugar levels are at. So firstly, we've got the blood sugar at 4.6 millimole, so fairly standard. And secondly, we've got the blood ketones quite low at 0.5 millimole. So that's the baseline for today's experiment. Now, steak and eggs. It's fairly standard for me. Usually I'll just eat the egg yolks and I'll focus on a fattier cut of steak. Whereas today it's a T-bone steak, which isn't as fatty as I would like, and 4 whole eggs. So anyway, I'll have a little bite. So, T-bone steak, it doesn't get much better than a freshly cooked steak with eggs for breakfast. And as you all know, this is my standard go-to most days. So, it is what it is. And of course, I always like to pair it with a coffee. This morning, I've got a cream coffee. So let's have a look at the macros for this meal. We've got a 450 gram T-bone steak, 4 whole eggs with a cream coffee. So we're looking at about 1200 calories, 130 grams of protein, 75 grams of fat, and 2 grams of carbs. So like I said, it is a higher protein ratio, but this is a great discussion around whether protein actually affects the level of ketosis or not. So I may as well just dig in. And for this experiment, I thought I would test my blood sugar and blood ketones every half an hour for the next 2 hours, because it may give us a little bit more information around what's actually happening. So a little bit different to the standard Is It Keto Friendly, but hopefully it'll still be beneficial. Anyway, I better finish off this steak and eggs. So there you have it, steak, eggs and cream coffee down the hatch. It's 9:25 AM. I'll wait half an hour and I'll come back and test my blood sugar and blood ketone levels again. I'll see you soon. So it's been just over half an hour since I've finished the steak, eggs and cream coffee. So let's see what the blood sugar and blood ketones have done. In that time frame, I haven't done much. I felt fine, haven't felt lethargic or tired. And firstly, we've got the blood sugar down from 4.6 millimole to 4.1 millimole. So interestingly enough, there's been a decline there. And we've also got the ketones down from 0.5 millimole to 0.3 millimole. So also a decline there. So initially, this first half an hour period, even in the absence of carbohydrates, it seems that that steak and eggs meal has lowered my ketones. So that's interesting. But anyway, I'll wait another half an hour and I'll come back and test my blood sugar and blood ketones again. I'll see you soon. So it's been an hour since I finished the steak, eggs and coffee meal. So let's see what's happened with the blood sugar and blood ketone levels. Once again, in the last half hour period, I felt fine. Firstly, we've got the blood sugar very interestingly at low, which is something I haven't seen before. So I'm not sure what that actually means. And we've got the blood ketone levels once again stable at 0.3 millimole. So interesting, but the ketones are holding. The blood sugar potentially has dropped even further. So I'll wait another half an hour and I'll come back and test again. I'll see you soon. So it's been 1.5 hours since I finished the eggs, steak and cream coffee. So let's see what the blood ketones and blood sugar level have done. Once again, I felt fine and yeah. Anyway, looks like the blood sugar is at 4.3 millimole. So from 4.6 down to 4.1 to low, now back to 4.3 millimole. And the blood ketones are stable again at 0.3 millimole. So interesting there. Anyway, I'll wait half an hour and I'll come back and test my blood sugar and blood ketones again. I'll see you soon. So it's been 2 hours since I ate the steak, the eggs and the cream coffee. Now in that 2 hour time frame, I felt fine and let's have a look. So the blood glucose up to 4.7 millimole from 4.3 millimole. So starting to climb there. And the blood ketones still holding at 0.3 millimole. So interesting. So the trend of the ketones prior to the meal, 0.5 and then stable 0.3 for the next 2 hour period. And the blood sugar was at 4.6 millimole. It dropped to 4.1. Then a low measurement, but when looking at the manufacturer's details, it says low is anything under 1.1 millimole for the blood glucose. So I think that was probably a glitch with the strip. Then back to 4.3 millimole and then climbing to 4.7 millimole. So interesting there. So that meal was effectively above 40% protein and then the rest coming from fat. So it appears on today's activity level for me under these conditions, a high protein meal in the absence of carbohydrates definitely has a negative impact on ketosis. But like I always say, this is what's happened for me, and if you were interested in this sort of experiment, you would probably need to test it on yourself. And if you have done, I'll be more than happy to talk about it because, I mean, it is interesting. There is definitely a big discussion around how protein can affect ketosis. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to give it a like and a subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you soon.